Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, officially welcome to the channel. This is a series where we take a look at various different oddities in gaming that developers either made to help the player get more into the game, visually or physically. Most have influences on games and designs years past when they were active, and today is no exception, because today we're going to take a look at one of the ones that many of you may not have heard of or even seen in the wild. This is the Foot Craz pad for the Atari. So let's dig into this case of Atari beating Nintendo to the punch once again. This one should be pretty fun. Almost since the beginning of video games, people have been trying to find a way to blend physical activity in video games for some reason. In fact, there are so many of these products that one could do a much longer video than this on how many there have been and how well they did. Matter of fact, I might actually do that at some point. However, today, we're going to take a look at one of the earliest ones that at least I could find in the Atari Foot Craz. This is one of the very first ones that actually got released. Keep in mind, there was the Tumbleweeds project planned for the Atari 400 and 800 line of computers that used a stationary bike that never got a release, which is likely for the best, given it needed a full-on stationary bike, which was likely not cheap at the time and would eat up a lot of space. Instead, we got the Atari Foot Craz, which was a floor pad that you could connect to your system. So, how did this thing work? Well, actually it's pretty simple this time. You simply connected it to the system via the plug on the front. Then you'd start the game with a green button, and you would run on the red and blue buttons for Video Jogger, which was one of the first games released for the mat. You could pick from two tracks, a slow track and a fast track. Running on the pad would move your happy little smiley face around the track, and the game would prompt you to keep a certain pace. There was one other game released for it, and that was Video Reflex. This game made more use of the mat since it would use all of the colors on it to play the game. You would have to step on bugs that would show up one or more of the colors. You then would step on the corresponding one on the mat to squish the bug. Both were simple ideas that worked really well for the actual mat itself. Other than these two, I could really find no references to any other games that came out to use the functionality of the mat, which makes this a limited, if fun oddity to have on the channel. What makes this one interesting is its example led to further examples and experimentation, not only in mat controllers, but in other devices to get players moving. Now, I don't mean to say that the Foot Craz was solely responsible, but I think it's safe to say that it influenced many other ideas like the Power Pad for the NES and the Dance Dance Revolution pad. Each one of these used a similar design idea. Even though the layout may have changed, the concept was the same: to try to get our lazy butts off the sofa and into something more physical. This trend would continue through the years with devices like the Activator, the Wii Fit board, the Wii, the Kinect, and even VR have tried to find ways to get us more into the game, physically and mentally. None of this would have been possible without the pioneering technologies like this and many others. These types of controllers, peripherals, oddities if you will, led to many new ideas and developments in the field. So what did you guys think of this one? I know it's not the most unusual one we've looked at, but I still think it's very interesting how many of these devices that we think we know were the first ones, only to turn out that they're just one in the many attempts to do the same thing, going back much earlier than anyone realizes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're there, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.